The delay. Today is Wednesday, December 7th, 2022. I'm calling to order this meeting of the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, and for the record, all three commissioners are present. We will begin with our public statement read by Commissioner Gibbons.
Good morning. We, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, renew our commitment to welcome and protect the rights of all people, regardless of age, race, color, creed, disability, sexual orientation, gender, gender identity, marital status, economic status, and national origin. And we affirm the right of every person to live peacefully and without fear. And we will fight and resist at every step discrimination and harmful policies, whatever their source. We also stand in support of our county public school systems, both RBB and MCCSC.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we have department updates. We'll begin with Ms. Kelly and the Health Department. Good morning.
Good morning. Just wanted to give a few updates. We are monitoring the rise in cases of Omicron variants BQ.1.1 and BQ.1. They are now accounting for approximately 63% of cases. Around 50% of the United States is reporting moderate to high COVID levels and wastewater samples. Of these sites, 22% are seeing some of the highest virus levels in samples since December 1st of 2021. Wow. Indiana is seeing high levels of influenza. The predominant strain is influenza A. This is included in the current makeup of the flu vaccine. Flu shots and all vaccines are available at the public health clinic. You can call 812-334-8374 for an appointment.
Great. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Gibbons?
Not today. Thank you.
Commissioner Jones?
Sorry, I've been hearing a lot about this influenza and that people are particularly unlikely to have immunity to it. So probably getting flu shots is even more important. I had heard that it's a strain that hasn't been seen for 80 years or something. So almost no one has ever experienced it before and has any natural immunity.
Yes, definitely. So cases are very high right now. We are seeing increased hospitalizations from this flu vaccine. So it's very important to get the flu shot and continue to do other measures such as our good hand hygiene and monitoring for symptoms.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. So interesting. And it is a good reminder to everyone that it's not too late to get vaccinated.
Correct.
Yes. Great. Thank you. Ms. Ridge, good morning.
Good morning. I did want to announce that the Community Crossing Awards were announced yesterday. We had submitted for 4 paving projects that at a value of $1.6 million. It is a 50-50 match. So Monroe County was awarded the $835,759.30. So that brings the total for 2022 to the full $1 million for the community crossing. So, and we will turn around and resubmit for the January call. So we want to really focus on our paving projects and try and get as much paving done as we can in 2023.
That is amazing news. Congratulations. Thank you for your hard work. Which are the roads?
So we have Steinsville Road from State Road 46 to Mount Carmel Road. We have a portion of Union Valley Road. I believe that's McNeely to DeLapp. We have the remaining portion of Chapel Hill Road, which is Guthrie Road out to State Road 446. And we have Harmony Road from State Road 45 to, I believe it's Rockport or Rock East Road. So it's about 11 miles total of all the roads.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Gibbons?
Do you have a map in your head, Ms. Ridge?
I think I've been there long enough. I should have a little bit.
Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, I had a question. Let me think of it. Oh, I've been getting a number of emails from people who live in various subdivisions who are hoping that they'll be repaved. What's the situation with that now?
So we submitted 6 subdivisions into your ARPA plan,
Yeah.
hoping to get those funded. I believe those are 1.2 million. We did not put any other subdivisions in our pavement program in the hopes that the council and commissioners will support those 6 paving projects. So at the when we went to the council this summer to ask for paving assistance out of the rainy day funds, they did transfer $1 million to paving. But we have about probably our list for including those 6 subdivisions that we're trying to gather for 2023 is about a $7 million list.
Cool.
We know we can't do it all. But so yeah, those 6 subdivisions that you're probably hearing about are the 6 subdivisions that we have asked for assistance through the ARPA funds.
Yeah, I hope we can come through for them.
I hope so too. And I'm not telling any secrets here because we talked through this last night at the council meeting. And we were the 3 out of the 9 who responded to the survey who put in the full amount for the paving of those 6 subdivisions, because it's not just a paving project, it's paving and culverts,
Yes.
drainage, and which will keep the paving project to last longer. So we just need to talk to our council colleagues at this point and encourage folks to do that.
I think we hear from people more.
We do. We do. All right, excellent. Thank you so much. All right, it looks like we also have an update from planning, Ms. Nestor Jelen. Good
Good
morning.
morning, commissioners. I just want to remind everyone that next week on Tuesday, December 13th, we're going to be having a public engagement meeting at our regular plan commission meeting. So I'm going to share my screen for those of you joining either in person or online. So our helpful website for anyone to go to is called monroecdo.com. It will have updates as well as links to helpful documents. We're going to be having the consultants for the county development ordinance attend, and they will give a short presentation at the beginning of the meeting, starting at 5:30 p.m. in the Judge Nat Uhill room, 3rd floor of the courthouse. And then from there, we're hoping to have an interactive map printout for everyone that's able to attend so that they can see what their zoning is right now and what it will be drafted as being zoned in the new CDO, as well as the use table. So for anyone in person, they'll be able to have staff there to help them through it. For anyone that wants to join virtually, there will be a Zoom option. And if they go to our monroecdo.com website, you'll be able to find the draft zoning map, as well as zooming into a property and seeing what the proposed zoning is and what the current zoning is. And then we do have a helpful link here to a feedback survey, which autofills the parcel number, and you can put in your name, address, and other pertinent information, and it goes straight to us. So there is a way to engage virtually as well. And so for anyone that can't attend next Tuesday, feel free to call our office at 812-349-2560. And we have planners of the day, 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, that can help you as well over the phone. So I hope to see everyone there next Tuesday, and let me know if you have any questions.
All right, thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
No.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I just encourage the community to pay attention to this and get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see if there's any other department heads who have an update for us. Seeing none, we will move on to our next agenda item. Our next agenda item is public comment. Public comment is set aside time for items that are not on our agenda. Each commenter is limited to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, you will hear a tone to let you know that you have 30 seconds remaining to complete your statement. The same 3 minutes time limit applies to public comment on each of our agenda items as well. And so we have public comment.
Good morning. Thank you so much for your time this morning. My name is Jen Pearl, and I'm the president of the Bloomington Economic Development Corporation, a nonprofit that serves all of Monroe County in fostering conditions for economic prosperity. I'm here this morning to provide an update on the Economic Vitality Project. That's a community-wide initiative that we've been spearheading to improve this whole community as a place to live, work, and play for all residents and people who are working here. The issues that we're addressing, just a quick recap on that, are things like workforce, jobs, housing, infrastructure, quality of life. And what it does is kind of pulls together a sense of what the community needs are based on existing plans from our local governments and local collaborators, looking at data trends, looking at surveys. We did a community-wide survey that I wanted to thank everyone for sharing. We had 640 great responses on that, as well as over 140 community members that have participated in some way through our committees, focus groups, interviews, and other working groups. The updates that I have to share today are both on our timeline and also on some of the outcomes, because a number of the trends that we're seeing align with pieces of county strategies that we've been hearing come forward in county meetings recently. So before the holidays, our steering committee is going to be convening and finalizing the vision and the strategies that have come out of this. And thank you to Commissioner Githens for being a part of that steering committee, as well as the other commissioners for participating in various aspects of the plan. In January, we will be updating and finalizing the plan and working with community partners that will be spearheading different aspects of the plan. This is not something that's going to be owned or implemented by the BEDC alone, but is rather co-owned and co-implemented as a gift for the community. And then it'll be unveiled at our annual meeting on February 15th. Some of the priorities that we've seen that have come forward so far include transit, which is, recommendations for a regional transportation entity, things like enabling more land in targeted areas to be available for employment and housing growth. And that's, again, specific to targeted areas, an opportunity in the county being things like the North Park TIF. Enabling more site-ready inventory to develop, such as that at the airport, which is another opportunity locally. Other priorities we saw come forward is support for childcare, support for housing that's affordable and available for people, support for diversity, equity, inclusion efforts, as well as community partnerships to promote physical and mental health and social services. So again, this is something that would really be co-owned by the community, and then also just position us as a community to apply for future federal, state, and other funding, as well as target local funding that we have. So I wanted to thank you again for your time.
All right, thank you so much.
Morning, and thank you to Lisa and to Penny for listening to me and my emails. My name is Lori Borman, and I'm a resident of the Highlands. A Chinese proverb states that the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is to plant a tree is now. Our neighborhood has lost dozens of trees, if not 100, in just 2 days due to utility easement rights. But just because it's legal doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Well, I don't like this development for the sake of diesel spouting trucks to rumble from I-69 to Sayre Road and save 5 minutes. I accept that it's a done deal. I also accept that the tree destruction is a done deal. They're gone. As they say, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. What I don't accept and really think is a moral imperative in today's climate crisis is that the best we're promised is the county will look into tree replacement after the entire project is done 3 to 4 years from now. That's simply not acceptable. I'm grateful to hear from Julie Thomas that the county would like to implement a plan as soon as next year about tree replacement. 3 to 4 years, we have to, because we have to reverse what this destruction looks like. Gordon Pike is now Stumptown Street, and I have pictures of the before and after of what this looks like, and you will be shocked. The forest directory from Canopy Bloomington is here today on Zoom, And she is knowledgeable about mitigation plans and would like to help the plan to correct this. We can refer the issue to the Monroe County Environmental Commission and to develop a standard for tree plan analysis prior to utility removal, as many cities and counties do from Seattle to Pennsylvania. We can include requirements to replant what was ripped from the ground. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's just that we must have requirements. We must have oversight, and we must do better for future projects. Utilities have been parking their vendor equipment on Wiggins behind my house for more than 6 months now. They spout diesel fumes and run their engines for half an hour every morning, leave their equipment there all day, every day. Despite requests to move equipment, there's no respite. The county doesn't have to be shackled and bound by these utilities like I am. We can regulate them as well, so they don't ruin our air and land. Please, at least do this for my neighbors along Gordon Pike, if not for me, and AT&T's free truck stop in my backyard. I should be selling coffee and donuts to them and get something on it. I plant a tree today, not so I can enjoy it, because I might not be around here then, but I plant it for future generations, for our children and our grandchildren. It is for them that I ask you to vote today to commit to requirements and make it happen sooner, not after a project is completed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Borman. Appreciate you.
That's my backyard.
Thank you.
And these are the pictures of the destruction.
Mr. Shelton?
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Shelton with the Chamber of Commerce, but speaking again this morning on behalf of CASA, our court-appointed special advocates. Want to make the public aware that CASA's training for new volunteers this winter has been scheduled. It will begin January 18th in just over a month and will run through February 8th. They have changed what I told you a week ago. They've decided to leave it on the schedule of 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. They are going to try a different hour than they usually do in hopes that it'll make the training available to a new group of people. It's going to be in the mornings from 9 to noon on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can go to monroecountycasa.org, click on the volunteer link, and learn a lot of the details involved in being a volunteer. It will also describe the training that you would receive. The training will cover about 30 hours and will provide you with the information you would need to be a successful volunteer. You need no specific background. You don't need to have worked with children before. They will train you. And then once you've been sworn in by Judge Harvey, I believe, is going to replace Judge Galvin, then you would be assigned a case and you would work that case along with a CASA staff member. So you would not be out on a windy street corner by yourself. If you have issues come up that you're not sure about, you can consult with the staff member that you're working with. It's an excellent volunteer opportunity. It can be very, very satisfying when you conclude a case with the parents either having straightened their lives out and been reunited with their child or children, or their child or children have been adopted into a permanent home. So please consider it. We've got some 20 children right now who need a volunteer and we don't have anybody to assign. So thank you for the opportunity to tell everybody about that.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton. Any other public comment for items not on our agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll come back to our agenda. Next item, please.
Move approval of the minutes from November 30th, 2022.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, corrections, edits?
No.
I don't either. All those in favor of approving the minutes for November 30th, 2022 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of the claims docket, accounts payable December 7th, 2022.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Littler, please tell us all about it.
Good morning, Commissioners. Accounts payable for December 7th, 2022 is $1,561,798.01.
All right, thank you so much. Comments, questions? Commissioner Githens?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Any public comment on this item? Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in the Nat U Hill room. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the claims docket accounts payable December 7th, 2022 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. We will now move on to new business, please.
Move approval of Purdue University Extension Services 2023 agreement, fund name, county general, fund number 1,000, in an amount of $128,740.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second, and we have Ms. Ikwanwa here with us today. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Audie Ikwawa, and I am the County Extension Director for Purdue Extension here in Monroe County. And we are requesting the approval of the 2023 contract between Purdue Extension and the county, which provides educational programming in the areas of agriculture, natural resources, community development, 4-H youth development, and health and human sciences. And this contract amount was approved by the County Council as part of the annual budget agenda.
Okay, thank you so much. Comments, questions? Commissioner Githens?
I want to welcome Ms. Ikwanka to the County Extension Services.
Thank you.
Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, I'd also like to welcome you and also just thank the County Extension Services, which I think many people don't know enough about or appreciate enough.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And yes, welcome. And thank you for bringing this item forward. And we've already been working together on the Monroe County, what is now called the Monroe County Health Equity Council. So it's great to see you here. Thank you. All right. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in Net U Hill room. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the Purdue University Extension Services Agreement for 2023 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Move approval of BTEC Fire and Security Access Controls Agreement, fund name 2015 GO Bond, fund number 4806, in an amount of $11,055.31.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second, and I believe, there you are. There's Mr. Crone.
Good morning, Commissioners. First item I have up, requesting approval this morning. The Public Defender's Office, the Fiscus building, is still on the old Access It legacy swipe badge system. This is a request to upgrade that system over onto our existing Brivo system. That's our current. We'd be utilizing the existing door swipes and wiring. So to keep costs down, this cost actually covers the primary controller, the independent door controllers, and the cost of connecting all of that together. So that will get the Fiscus building online with the rest of the county buildings. So total cost for this one-time placement is $11,055.31.
All right, thank you so much. Comments, questions? Commissioner Githens?
No.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
I don't have any questions either. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in Net U Hill. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the agreement with BTEC Fire and Security for access control signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of VTech Fire and Security New Security Cameras Agreement, Fund Name 2015 GO Bond, Fund Number 4806, in an amount of $5,268.08.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Crone.
Yes, the security camera system currently in place at the Fiscus building is no longer operational. This request is to approve the installation of 4 new security cameras and the supporting wiring to go with those to save cost rather than install an independent DVR to the Fiscus. Because of its proximity to the Curry, we're actually going to be able to port those cameras over to that DVR to keep everything recorded. So total cost for this one time is $5,268.08.
All right, thank you. Comments, questions? Commissioner Githens,
No, thank you.
Commissioner Jones?
no, you don't.
See if there's any public comment on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in Nat U Hill Room. And for those of you watching on Zoom, the transcription came up that it's the Vicious building, but it's the Fiscus building. I had a little chuckle here behind my mouth about that. It's not a Vicious building. All right. All right. Seeing no public comment. We'll come back for a vote. All those in favor of approving the agreement with VTech Fire and Security for new security cameras signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. All right, thank you. Next item, please.
Move approval of the Cisco Security Licensing Purchase, Fund Name Cumulative Capital, Fund Number 1138.30041, in an amount of $17,500.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Crone.
Yes, I should clarify, there's a mistake in the agenda description. The price of this contract by $50. The actual amount is $17,550. I'll try to enunciate so that the transcription doesn't do something crazy this time. This is as part of our cyber security insurance compliance. We're required to implement multi-factor authentication to our VPN connections, which allows the users to remote in from outside the county network. This is an agreement with Shy International to provide 300 Cisco Duo licenses to implement that multi-factor authentication. How this works, it sends users are registered in the system, and when they attempt to make connection on VPN, they will get an SMS text message to their cell phone. They acknowledge that that's them trying to connect, and then it allows the process through and lets them connect to the county's network. This is for a period of 1 year for 300 licenses. And again, that cost is $17,550.
All right, thank you so much. Commissioner Githens, do you want to make a motion? Oh, you're still muted.
Sorry, I move to amend the amount to $17,550.
second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend the amount. Any public comment on that motion to amend? Seeing none, all those in favor of amending the motion to read $17,550 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion to amend carries. And now comments, questions, Commissioner Githens.
No, I'm just glad that we're putting additional security measures into place.
This is one step amongst many. Insurance has identified other applications across the county that they would also like to see multi-factor. So this is just the first step in getting into compliance with our insurance.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Jones?
no, I don't. Thank you.
And I don't either. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in the Nat U Hill Room. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the amended motion on the Cisco security licensing purchase signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Right, thank you. Next item, please.
Move approval of the memorandum of understanding with Community Justice and Mediation Center. Fund name LLIT or LLIT Special Purpose Fund Number 1114 in an amount not to exceed $32,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have Mr. Hatfield joining us. Tell us all
Yes,
about.
thank you, commissioners. I appreciate you taking the time to consider this memorandum. We have been working with the Community Justice Mediation Center for well over 10 years, and I believe this MOU has been in place for about that long. Basically, what we're able to do is with CJAM is provide victim services. And when we have referrals with our adolescent clients, with our juvenile clients that involve victims, we're able to make referrals to CJAM, and they provide victim offender restoration services where they do some mediation with the victim and the juvenile client, and try to come up with some agreements that would make the victim whole, or to at least provide some kind of services so that we're on a better path or a better footing. We do have Liz Granite here. I think she's a Zoom attendee. If she's able to, she might want to speak or give you a little bit more information. But this would be an MOU to continue on that service that we're able to provide for victims, as well as for our youth who have been referred to us.
All right, thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Gitzes?
Well, I definitely support this measure. And one of the things that I understand can come out of these kinds of mediations is that the perpetrator has a much better understanding of the victim as a person. And this does help to reduce recidivism among our teens and adolescents.
Commissioner Jones?
We're very, very lucky to have CJAM as a part of our community. This is just one small part of what they do. It's something that's particularly important to me because my mother is the person who originally worked at putting this kind of program together. At that time, it was called VORP, or Volunteer Victim Offender Reconciliation Program, and has been very successful in all the years since it was first instituted.
Yeah, this is a great program. I'm so happy that we're continuing to work with CJAM. I think it's a wonderful asset for our community, and it really does help both the victim and the perpetrator develop a deeper understanding. All right, let's see if there's any public comment on this. It looked like we have Ms. Granite from CJAM.
Yeah, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and just really want to thank Troy and the Juvenile Probation Department and the commissioners for this ongoing support. It is really important to us, and really excited. We've been working more closely over the last couple of years with the Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative. And over the next year, we're going to be working even more closely with the probation department to strengthen the programs that we're providing now, and kind of explore together other ways that we can really promote restorative practices through Monroe County, and really appreciate that support from the Juvenile Probation Department. And they are really working hard to empower community partners to provide resources for the youth and, in our community, and really just honored that we're a part of it. So thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. Any other public comment on this item? Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in Nat U Hill. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the memorandum of understanding with Community Justice and Mediation Center signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of Deckard Land Surveying Section Corner Perpetuation Agreement, Fund Name Surveyors Corner Perpetuation, Fund Number 1202, in an amount of $30,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and we have Mr. Enright Randolph joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to be here today. I'm looking for approval of a service agreement to help perpetuate 3 contiguous sections in Richland Township and asking for a not to exceed for $30,000. I'm hoping we come under the cost of both of these 2 agreements we launched, but we'll have to wait and see until the project's completed. I open it up for any additional questions.
All right, thank you. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
I had questions earlier that I had emailed back and forth with Tron about, and so now.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
The reason for hiring an outside firm to do this work is?
Well, in 2016, some of my first acts as county surveyor was to really kind of professionalize the office. So I moved outside of having a chief deputy and created a professional surveyor position. And we had a professional surveyor in the office where we can then do real surveying work. So we're surveying out the square mile, the section where they have more understanding of exactly what's going on in that area to then perpetuate and hold a position, a monument, like a rebar or a stone, something that memorializes that position. So we're able to kind of provide a higher standard and a better service to the community. And at the same time, we're getting geodetic controls, which can incrementally be integrated into our GIS, which hopefully can help improve other kind of related kind of things that are needed, like taxing parcel maps. But I don't want to promise anything to the public that, that won't be, delivered for like 5 to 10 years down the road. But it does create the foundation and the ability to start moving forward by having this level of service continued that I was fortunate enough to bring to the county in 2016 and have continued since.
Okay, great, thank you. And it's because we do not have a licensed surveyor in our office. That's
right, but we
right.
do have a review board. We do a preservation. We can go out there, but again, they're working on a very limited data, and usually it's surveying work that was performed for a private individual, and then we utilize that work and we take it to the review board. But right now, if there was a question for a position or a location, they could go back another half mile and really get a good clear. And that's why I want contiguous section, so they can push that line at another 1.5 miles to really determine if this is the right location, and kind of do a retracement. So we could do the perpetuation work without this level of service, but I don't think it's in the county's interest to do it. And I really appreciate your support over the years and the council's support with creating that position. And I'm hoping in 2023 we can actually bring someone in, because I was able to increase the salary. It might be a good time to promote that. On the 18th is when the new budget cycle kicks in, and I'm looking to hire a professional surveyor at a very competitive rate. So if anyone is out there listening that knows someone that might be interested, have them reach out. I'll go ahead and discuss the salary and things over the phone, but I'll be promoting that mid December and really getting it out there that position is open, and it's fairly competitive. So I'm so excited to gain that support. And thank you so much, Commissioner Thomas, for asking that question. I think this is very good for the public's understanding.
That's, yeah. We know the answers sometimes, but we know what folks don't know. And that's why we ask questions too.
Right. And we built this to kind of be systematic. So I'm so used to just coming and going. So thanks so much.
Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium. And Nat U. Hill. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the agreement with Deckard Land Surveying for section corner perpetuation signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Next item.
Move approval of resolution 2022-32, which is the 2023 Board of Commissioners meeting dates, and resolution 2022-33, which is the 2023 appeals hearing and meeting dates.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, Ms. Purdy.
Yes, good morning. This is a housekeeping item, and they're relatively clear and to understand. Resolution ending in 32 is your next meeting dates for 2023. And the resolution ending in 33 is the appeals hearing meeting dates for township trustee appeals and highway appeals. And those are they're on a Thursday at 2 p.m.
Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
Yeah, there were one or two that were switched to a Wednesday. I just want to point that out to the general public too, from the appeals. I think for like before Thanksgiving and things like that.
There's one.
Yeah.
I think we might need to look at the item in the packet, because I show everything as a Thursday.
No, it's the November 13th to November 17th date, and it is Wednesday, November 22nd. 2 p.m.
Sorry. Yep, see it now.
Okay.
Apologies.
Okay, we're good. All right. Any comments, questions?
No, I don't.
Any public comment on this item? Y'all get to see us once a week. Yeah, the next year.
Whether they want to or not.
Yeah, we'll be here. All right, all those in favor of approving resolutions 2022-32 and 2022-33 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0. And we have the next item, please.
Yes, I move to amend the Convention Center Management Agreement, fund name Convention Center operating fund number 4005 in an amount of $400,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Cockrell.
Yes, as I'm sure you're all well aware that the county has operated the convention center for a number of years. We do that with a partnership with the Convention Center Management Company, which is associated with Downtown Bloomington, Inc. This year, the county council set the rate at $400,000 for their services. And so this is an amount that has been appropriated. And again, this is for the county's continued operation contract for the county convention center.
Right. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
I just want to point out that we haven't raised the contract amount since 2014. So I think this is time to do it.
Commissioner Jones?
I agree with Commissioner Githens.
Absolutely. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item or questions. Mr. Askins, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for anticipating what I'm up to. Dave Askins with the B Square Bulletin. I missed this item when I reviewed the agenda. And that's on me because it's there. But as it came up, I wondered, what is the source of this money? The $400,000, is that general fund money? Is that innkeeper's tax money? Where did it come from? Thanks.
I don't, Mr. Cockrell, do you want to address that?
I'll address it. And I know Mrs. Kopic is here, who could probably address it even better. The convention center itself is funded basically through three different sources. One source is their rental of the convention center space themselves. The second source is the rental of other properties that were purchased with innkeeper's tax in that area. And the third source is the innkeeper's tax. So this is funded by a combination of those three sources. No, and I'm getting a head shaking no. And so we will be amending that response.
Thought it was all innkeepers.
Alicia Kopic with the Convention Center Management Company. And this contract is funded solely by the revenue generated at the convention center from room rentals and the percentage. The funds generated at that building are turned over to a Monroe County Convention Center dedicated revenue account. And it's a management fee to operate the current convention center. This is a 5% increase, as Penny Commissioner Githens mentioned, it's been since 2014 since we've raised this. Covers basic management expenses of personnel, audit, insurance, office supplies, those types of activities. But it sets out the responsibilities for our team and to follow to manage the convention center. And this year there were 422 events, which we're pretty excited about that. In normal years, maybe between 500, 550. And next year looks just as strong. So we're pretty happy about that. We appreciate your consideration and support and a great partnership as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's see if there's any public comments. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in that U-Hill room. See none. All those in favor of approving the amendment to the Convention Center Management Agreement signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Next item.
Move approval of ordinance 2022-48, amend speed limit ordinance 86-09.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Ridge, we're just going to hand you the microphone for the rest of the.
I know, right? I apologize, but.
Don't apologize.
Figure for me with you.
She's on it.
She's efficient. Yes.
So this was it came in as a request from a resident. We had our highway engineer do an investigation on it. It went to our traffic commission board in November and it was unanimously approved. And it does warrant it with the MUTCD manual on uniform traffic control devices for a speed limit of 30 miles per hour on Miller Road.
Right. Thank you so much. TSD in Net U-Hill, we lost our captioning inside on our monitor. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
No, thanks.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
I don't either. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in Nat U-Hill. All those in favor of approving ordinance 2022-48 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, TSD, for getting those captions back. All right, next item, please.
Move approval of NDOT agreement for Karst Trail extension to Liberty Drive. Fund name 2020 GO bond / trail expansion. Fund number 4813 in an amount of $155,801.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Ridge.
This agreement is for the construction of the extension of the trail. The extension begins at Liberty and State Road 45, follows Constitution Avenue to Curry Pike. Then it'll go due west to the Karst Trail at the railroad. The federal funding that's tied to this is just out of the MPO of what was remained unallocated in the TE TAP funds for that fiscal year, which is the $155,801. The remainder of the project is within the 2020 GO bond trail expansion. I believe it goes to letting next fall.
Great. Thank you so much. Anticipated my question. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
Well, I was going to wait until later to talk about some of this, but yesterday it was really incredible to be at the ribbon cutting for the extension or expansion of the Karst Farm Greenway. What an incredible addition to our community. We talk about quality of life in many different ways, and this certainly, in my opinion, improves the quality of life.
Yeah, it certainly does. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, I'd just like to second everything Commissioner Githens said and say that this will be a wonderful addition to our community.
Absolutely. And we know Parks was certainly very much in the lead on the Karst Farm, completing Karst Farm Trail. But we know that our highway department played a big role in it as well. And we thank them for that while they're here. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in Nat U-Hill. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the NDOT agreement for Karst Trail extension to Liberty Drive signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Item K, please.
Move approval of NDOT amendment number 1, Vernal Pike Connector Road. Fund name Vernal Pike Connector Road. Fund number 8165 in an amount of $3,076,220 in additional funding.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Ridge.
Yes, this amendment is to increase the amount that was allocated for construction and construction inspection for the Vernal Pike Connector project, which is also Sunrise Greetings Court. The original contract was approved for $6,778,180 in May of 2022. Due to the increase of cost of the project, NDOT has increased the amount of the federal funding to $9,854,000, which is the increase of the little over the 3 million. The letting date for this project is in February of 2023.
Right. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
Yeah, it always amazes me how much it costs to build roads and bridges.
Commissioner Jones?
I'm often not extremely excited about new roads being built, but in this case, it's rather different. This road really is needed.
Yeah. Any public comment on this item? Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in Nat U Hill. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving NDOT amendment number 1 on the Vernal Pike Connector Road signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Okay, I'm gonna blow the pronunciation again, but move approval of the Exoye Trail and Greenways Engineering, Inc. Supplemental number 8 for Bicentennial Pathway Project. Fund name, cumulative cap, fund number 1138, and amount that is not applicable.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Ridge.
This supplemental is actually just to move existing funds around into the different lines of service within the contract. There is no dollar change to this, no increase or no decrease. We just thought for auditing purposes, since we had to go back through after the May letting and it was unawarded, we changed some things around with coordination, utility coordination, and rebid some of the design services. So we wanted to move to the funds where those expenses were used, just so we can explain that in an audit in the future.
Right. Thank you so much. Comments, questions?
None from me.
No, I don't.
Any public comment on this item? Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in Nat U Hill. See none. All those in favor of approving the IXOYE Trail and Greenways Engineering, Inc. Supplemental number 8 for the Bicentennial Pathway Project signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Move approval of American Structure Point Amendment number 1 for Roar Road Bridge number 75. Fund name, cumulative bridge, fund number 1135, in an amount of $37,300.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Ridge.
The agreement for this bridge project, it's a replacement bridge project on Roar Road by Sayre Road. This is for the right-of-way acquisition services for that project. It's targeted for a 2024 construction year.
All right. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
No.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Any public comment on this item? Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in Nat U Hill. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the American Structure Point Amendment number 1 for Roar Road Bridge number 75 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of USI Consulting Work Order / task number 2 for Bales Road Bridge number 45 replacement. Fund name, cumulative bridge, fund number 1135, in an amount not to exceed $50,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Ridge.
The work order for this is for construction inspection services for the Bells Road Bridge 45 replacement. The original on-call agreement with USI was approved on 4/7 of 2021. And actually, we're opening bids for this project tomorrow.
All right. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
No.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Great. Bids tomorrow. It's a lot going on.
All right.
Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in Nat U Hill. Let's see, none. All those in favor of approving the USI Consulting Work Order Task Number 2 for Bales Road Bridge number 45 replacement signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. And we'll move on to item O, please.
Move approval of RQAW on-call services agreement, fund name, local road and street or cumulative bridge, fund number 1169 or 1135 in an amount as needed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, Ms. Ridge.
We have a list of firms that we have on-call services for future projects. And we were just wanting to add this firm as an option for us to for any maybe possible future work.
Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
No.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in Nat U Hill. See none. All those in favor of approving the RQAW on-call services agreement signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of the Manor subdivision, adding new roadways into the inventory.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Ridge.
The developer and land company of Southern Indiana LLC of the Manor subdivision has completed the project and requests that Monroe County accept the following roadways into Monroe County inventory for future maintenance. South Cordova Place, which is actually an extension of what we have as existing Cordova Place, and then also adding East Manor Court to our inventory. We have performed the proper inspections and the subdivision has been built to our satisfaction. So we would recommend accepting this into our inventory.
Great. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
I had emailed Ms. Ridge earlier to say, do we set the speed limits right now as we accept these? And she explained that, no, this goes before the Traffic Commission. So I want the public to understand that too.
So drive as fast as you
No.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Existing speed limits hold until the existing speed limits hold until we get this to the Traffic Commission.
Correct.
Yes. Sorry, shouldn't do that.
It's not a racetrack.
So, okay, trivia question. How many miles of county road do we now have in our inventory?
You guys do this to me every time.
7, 15, 16?
I would say right around the 715 to 720 mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. It's excellent. And that makes a difference with our MVH.
Correct. So we submit these to NDOT for approval for them to put it into the calculation for future funding.
Great. Thank you. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in Nat U Hill. See none. All those in favor of approving the adding new roadways into the inventory from the Manor subdivision signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Move approval of the 2023 material bid awards, and this is a motion to award per the items that are listed in our packet.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Ms. Ridge, please tell us all about it.
So we did advertise and open sealed bids on December 1st, 2022 for the upcoming year of 2023 for material. We would like to award category 1 of gasoline, unleaded diesel fuel, kerosene, gasohol, and biodiesel to all bidders due to escalator clause per Indiana Code 5-22-17-10. Item 2, aggregate stone, gravel, and sand. Award is the following in accordance with Indiana Code 36-1-12-4. Rogers Group on Ord Road, Rogers Group in Morgan County, Lincoln Park, and Blackwell Limestone Products. Item 3, 4, and 5, we did not receive any bids. And item 6, corrugated metal pipe and high density polyethylene pipe, award to Civilcon due to being the lowest, most responsive bidder.
Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
I just want to clarify, oftentimes the awarding for the aggregates, the stone, the gravel and the sand, you do it based upon where the different companies are located at.
Correct.
In
So
coordination with.
you might have Blackwell Stone that's down off State Road 446. If we're doing a project in that area, it's more feasible to go to that closest facility to get stone versus maybe going to all the way to Ord Road. So we use wherever the project is, we use it, use that closest facility.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
So the three items, item 3, 4, and 5, I know we've had bidders in the past. So is it just as an ad needed basis, you just go out and
Yeah, we will.
shop around?
We reached out to legal. Apparently the company had some retirements and did not realize it was out for bid. So we will contact those companies when we are ready for them to come and do our striping, which we always contract that out. And then we'll call for bids at that time.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium and Nat U Hill. Seeing none, all those in favor of awarding the bids as presented in the packet for materials for highways signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. All right, we don't have any appointments today, but we do have some announcements. The next blood drives are Thursday, the 15th and Friday, the 16th of December. Thursday's hours 10 to 3, Friday 1 to 6. That's at IV Tech. Go to redcross.org to sign up for an appointment. Just a reminder that we are accepting applications for all boards and commissions. New Year is always a time for us to go through a lot of these. There's a lot of turnover at the end of the year typically. So if you're interested in joining a board or commission, please apply through co.monroe.in.us. Please note, we do have office hours 6 different times a month. You just go to the calendar at co.monroe.in.us at the bottom of the page, and you can come drop in to any of the 6 different office hours that appear on the calendar. We're looking forward to meeting with you. And lastly, just a quick reminder that next Tuesday, we're going to have a Monroe County Development Ordinance meeting with the consultants for the planning department. That's going to be 5:30 on Tuesday, December 13th, right here at the Nat U Hill Room. You can also join via Zoom, or you can make comments directly to us through Monroe County CDO.com website, where you can look at the map and see your proposed zoning and make comments and feedback. And as Ms. Nestor Jelen showed us at the beginning of the meeting. So anything else for the good of the order?
I just want to again congratulate the Parks Department on the opening of the Karst Farm Greenway extension. We saw people out there yesterday already walking on the trail, which means that it's already in use.
That's a great thing. Any questions?
Just the new extension of the trail really is about the nicest part of it, and people should come check it out. It's quite beautiful, even at this time of year.
Yeah, even at this time of year, it's just beautiful, and it's a real testament to everyone's hard work, working together and make it happen. And Duke Energy Foundation and NDOT and IDEM, and we've just had so much support throughout, and can't thank everybody enough for all their hard work, including our park staff and Parks Board. Thank you. It's really an incredible trail. All right, so we do have a work session agenda. So can we come back at 11:25? What do you think? All right. We'll come back at 11:25 for our work session. And with that, our regular session is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.